And a panel of federal judges is set to decide whether Texas can use its newest congressional maps for next year's midterm elections. The maps are at the center of a wide-ranging legal battle, with civil rights groups like LULAC and the Texas NAACP arguing they dilute the voting power of racial minorities, while Texas state officials insist the charges are purely partisan, not racial. A panel of 3 federal judges will soon decide if the state of Texas can use newly approved congressional maps in the 2026 midterm election. It comes after several advocacy groups, including LULAC and others, filed a lawsuit against Texas Governor Greg Abbott, claiming the new districts are racially discriminatory. Today's plaintiffs, including LULAC and the Texas NAACP, testified saying the new congressional map purposely takes political power away from racial minorities. They say this would violate the Voting Rights Act and be unconstitutional. The groups pointed to President Trump, who earlier this year demanded Texas Republicans redraw their congressional map to give the GOP 5 extra seats in the U.S. House. The plaintiffs say Abbott went on television and bragged that 4 of the 5 new seats would be majority Hispanic. They also say a letter sent by the U.S. Department of Justice in July demanded the state redraw its maps due to the racial makeup of some of its districts. The plaintiffs argued this all points to a racial motive rather than a strictly partisan one. In the meantime, attorneys for the state of Texas say the map effort is all exclusively partisan. They pointed to Adam Kincaid, publicly one of the architects of the maps, as a longtime Republican operative. The state's attorney argued, why would Kincaid sabotage his own efforts at adding more seats for Republicans by bringing race into his decision? The state says Hispanic Republicans stand to benefit at the expense of white Democrats in some cases, proving that the new maps aren't about race. The judges on this case did not specifically say when they would have a decision, but they did express concern that if they grant the plaintiffs an injunction against the new maps, that could throw elections into chaos, with many candidates already announcing for next year's midterms under the new maps. Well, throughout that day in court, I heard attorneys expressing relief that this part of the trial, at least, is finally over. It's certainly been a grueling week of hearings for both sides as they now await the judge's opinion. And